Whether it be distraction or the promise of tomorrow, I've always been curious what makes the difference between those who keep their goals and those who don't. For me, I've been so distracted. The gyms have plateaued and coffee shops have gone back to their regulars with maybe a few additions. A few tasks missed in the new planner spread all over the world. Each December, I'm met with a list of goals a year old. They mock me, thinking that a year ago, I thought that just one more year old, I would have accomplished the things that realistically 50-year-old Marybeth would have been doing. Maybe that's a bit of my kryptonite, the desire to find something in others that I want in myself. The need to compare and read all of the self-help books, the business books, and I cripple myself with research. Then I go into feeling so overwhelmed and burnt out that I just need to numb down and scroll into distraction. It's times like these I see I don't want to float anymore. I don't want life to pass me by while I work on things simply for money, or I watch a show to decompress, while I push things off that I know keep me alive. I worry about the things that I can't control, my relationships, the things I take too personally, and become comfortable in my worry and in my work. What happened to principles, to disciplined thinking? I want to prove wrong the part of myself that feels hurt, that sometimes feels broken beyond repair, the side that's scared to move, scared to be wrong, scared to apologize to others, and more importantly to myself for failing again, for losing one more thing to hope for. I thought for years it was simply that childlike wonder I was after. I've wanted to preserve it. I'd stash it inside my favorite stuffed animals, find it in some fallen feathers who possess the only superpower I've ever wanted: to fly. To soar above all my worries that seemed to accumulate well into my 20s. I've grasped desperately onto that wonder that seemed to fade more and more with the more knowledge I've acquired. I used to think it was simple. Wonder was what I was after. But now I've realized it's hope that keeps us moving. Hope for an outcome, for a visit, for a friend. A fleeting moment to understand the difference of existing and living fully in the reality that hope might be the hardest thing to lose, but the easiest thing to prove it's all worth it. It's hope that makes us wonder if each step is worth the cost of failing and potentially losing the hope that started it all. There's an older saying I've recently stumbled upon that says the only way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. I know that it might seem silly to compare our largest dreams to an elephant, but it's these little bite-sized accomplishments of deciding to show up that makes the hardest steps a little easier. Atomic Habits calls it the 1% each day. The big goals, the 100%, Seems impossible at first, I know, but break that down into 100 days of 1%, and it just doesn't seem that bad. At first, we might not get the credit. We might not see the value and can't imagine that the smallest movement can make any difference. Then life might get in the way and the 1% might become even harder to imagine. That's where many people stop. It's where I've stopped. It's where I've looked at hope and asked, is this really worth it? It almost never answers back, but this is the moment that makes the doers different. This is when they decide to show up, regardless of doubt, in the name of hope. Determined to not just accomplish a goal, but to change a lifestyle by creating habits that determine their identity. Atomic Habits also says it's our habits that make us who we identify as. So next time you think of the big goal you have for this year, instead of thinking of the big elephant in all of its entirety, think of the first bite and ask yourself, who is it that I long to become? And how will you show up for that version of yourself today?